Who are your core partners and what value do you exchange with them? Is there a proper balance between what each party gives and receives? Designing value networks helps you to answer these questions. Why do we discuss value networks? Because of digital technologies, most companies today don't work in a value chain anymore. Companies share data on digital platforms, industries are not as clearly separated as before. It's not clear sometimes who is going to take which role in the business model. Think about Google, an IT company, but working together with companies in automotive to create the Google car. How the roles are divided between Google, car makers and energy companies is not so clear. Value networks are a useful tool for cases like this. Cases where there is not a linear value chain, but something more complex going on between partners. We can define a value chain as a network in which goods, services, knowledge and revenue is exchanged between partners. The value network makes clear who's doing what in the business model and what each partner receives and gives to make it work. In the end, the value network also tells you if the collaboration is sustainable, well, at least on paper. So how does it work? There are 4 basic steps in defining your value network. First, we need to know what service or product we're making the value network for. That's because a value network is always made specific for one offering in the business model. In our example, the service or product is the Google car. Second, think about what roles you need to offer that service or product. Roles could be, in the case of Google car, the manufacturer of the car, the provider of an operating system for the car, the provider of apps that make the car self-driving or that offer navigation. Third, you have to make a list of who fulfills each role. That's what we call the actors. So in our example, the car manufacturer could be a partner of Google, like Volkswagen. The provider of the operating system is Google, with its own Android system. Then the provider of the self-driving apps is again Google. And the navigation provider could be TomTom. Fourth, we need to draw a map of the value exchanges or flows between each of these actors. Now, value exchanges, they can be tangible. For instance, the car that is offered to the user and the payment that Google makes to the car manufacturer. Here we have to answer important questions like, does the consumer pay to Google or to Volkswagen or to both? And does the user pay for the navigation app or is that included? Is it bundled with the car? Next, value exchanges can be intangible. One important type is knowledge or information. This could be information that the navigation app provider sends to the consumer or information that Google collects from the consumer about his driving behavior. There are other important types of intangible value besides information. Brand value, for instance, that Google gives to the provider of the navigation apps, or loyalty from the consumer to Google. So now we can draw a basic value network. It looks like this. Let's analyze it step by step. In the picture, each block is an actor. What do we learn by looking at it? First, we do a couple of checks. Make sure that there are only actors or roles in the value network, so no technical systems and no services. Also, check that you have given attention to both the tangible and the intangible flows. Remember, the dashed arrows in the picture are the intangible value flows. And then the most important check. Check if all the loops are closed. If actors only give and don't receive, your value network is not viable and your business model is not going to work. If you found a loop that isn't closed, then perhaps you forgot a certain value flow, or perhaps you're making the wrong assumption about what's in it for your partners. In the end, the value network tells you just what's in it for each of your partners. It shows you which roles and actors are required and what value exchanged being the partners to make the business model work. It's especially useful to draw a value network in a group session. Do you all have the same understanding about what partners bring and receive? Are there alternatives to how partners exchanged value? And is there enough in it for everyone to keep going? Good luck!